Aquaus Kelley, Love and Ambition, a digital diary, Thursday, February 4th, 2021. Time now is 8:55 p.m. And I wanted to record this because literally I was just on IG. I was looking at a message that I received in response to a repost that I did. I reposted something from my good friend, my guy, Dorian. Shout out to Dorian. And the post said, "Can you handle failures? Can you handle failures? Can we handle failures?" And of course, what comes to mind to me is, how do we handle our failures? And in his caption, I'm looking at it right now on the computer, he posed the question, will you go further down or rise up? And this really resonated with me because as I was looking at the reply to a message, and then I replied back, it's funny because in the background, I was on my phone, but in the background, I had some scores up. And as I was looking at the scores, I was thinking about the notion of failure, at least as it pertains to education and academics. And I thought to myself, the only way we can fail is if we stop. And that really made me think, wow, the only way we can fail is if we stop. Now, of course, this does not apply to everything. It's contextual, it's situational. But when we think about it, when we think about jobs, applications, whether we're applying to grad school or college or applying to a program, the only way we can fail is if we stop. We may not get in the first time. We may not pass the first time. But if we keep going, eventually we will get through. That is literally how I became a teacher. Like literally, I told myself, I'm just going to take this praxis test until I pass it. Eventually, I will pass it. So literally, I took that notion. The only way for me to fail is to stop. And that's the reason why I decided not to stop. So this is the philosophy I really want to share with people, those around me, those who are not around me, my students. And I do this in the classroom. I tell them, listen, unless you have no room for growth, meaning that unless you have a perfect grade and 100, there's always room for you to improve, right? So literally, I have students who work on assignments, Khan Academy, I Excel, and I tell them, unless you have a perfect grade, unless you have 100, unless you have demonstrated mastery, there's still room for you to learn. So for us to give up or be satisfied with the 80, a 85, a 90, when there's still room for improvement, we need to keep going. That's just it. We need to keep going. Now, of course, there is a limit. And this is where time comes in. Once we reach the end of the marking period, the deadline, that's it. We can't go any further. So we have no choice but to stop because we literally cannot go any further. But otherwise, as long as we can go further, as long as there's room for growth and development and more opportunities, the only way we can fail is to stop. Period. As long as there is more room for growth, improvement, progress, the only way to fail is to stop. So if we don't stop, we're less likely to fail. We just have to keep it going, keep trying. Keep it up, keep pushing, keep learning, keep striving. So I just wanted to share those thoughts. Again, shout out to my boy Dorian for keeping me on my feet, keeping me sharp mentally, physically, right? And it's important to have these people in our circle, our friends that we can share thoughts with, work out with, run with, right? Share ideas with, share books with, so that we could become well-rounded people, well-rounded humans, and contribute to society for the better. So the only way to fail is to stop. Again, it doesn't apply to everything. It's contextual, it's situational, but as long as we have room for improvement, this is the key word, as long as we have room for improvement and opportunity, the only way to fail is to stop. If that opportunity doesn't exist, then there are times that we have no other choice but to stop. But as long as there's room for growth and opportunity, the only way to fail is to stop. So that's all I have to share. I'm curious to hear your thoughts, feedback, perspective, outlook, worldview. Let me know. Other than that, Aquaus Kelley, Love and Ambition, a digital diary. Much peace, much love, much happiness.